everybody, and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Dumbo, number 2 would be Us, number 3 would be Captain Marvel, number 4 would be Wonder Park, and number 5 would be 5 Feet Apart. And I got 4 out of 5 of my predictions right. I was really close, but there was a movie that came out of nowhere pretty much that just messed up the whole thing for me. So let's go over what actually happened. Number 1 was, of course, Dumbo. I don't think anyone's really surprised by that. Some people might be surprised at the fact that it opened with $45 million. I think some people might have been expecting it to open a little bit over, but this movie didn't get, like, critical reception like a Beauty and the Beast or a Jungle Book, so honestly, it's not that surprising. Worldwide, it's already at $119 million, and the budget is only $170 million, so I think it will be able to double that budget in the near future very soon. This will definitely go down as one of the weaker grosses of the live-action Disney remakes, but I think at the end of the day, it's still going to make a lot of money, so, you know, there's no real loss on their part here. Number 2 is Us. It made $33 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $127 million, which is about $11 million more to go until it outgrosses Split. As far as the Blumhouse movies go, it already has outgrossed Glass, which is pretty fantastic if you ask me, and it needs $49 million more until it outgrosses domestically Get Out to become not only Jordan Peele's highest grossing film domestically, but also Blumhouse's highest grossing film domestically, and worldwide it is already almost at $200 million, sitting at $174 million. So even though this movie had about a 50%-ish drop from last weekend, it is still doing a lot of great financial things here, and I'm really hoping that it makes even more money than what we're already expecting right now. I think the fact that it opened up with Dumbo is the reason why it had about a 50% drop, but I think as weeks go on, more people will come back to visit this film. Number 3, we have Captain Marvel, making $20 million, adding to a domestic total of $353 million. It's $47 million away from getting to $400 million domestically, which is pretty fantastic for it, and worldwide it is already at $992 million, so it only needs $8 million more, and then it's at $1 billion, which is quite fantastic that it's already almost at the billion point with the other MCU films. It'll be very interesting to see what it outgrosses at that point once it gets into the billions. Number 4 is the movie that I didn't expect to come out. It's called Unplanned. I didn't know what this movie was, but then I looked it up, and it's a PureFlix film about abortion, so I'm never going to see this film whatsoever. It made $6.3 million. Of course, there will always be people that show up at PureFlix films, and the budget was only $6 million, so I think it will be able to double that very low budget in the near future. I don't want to talk about this movie that much anymore, so let's go on to number 5, which is 5 Feet Apart, making $6.1 million, adding to a domestic total of $35 million. Worldwide, it is sitting at $50 million, so that's pretty good that it's still continuing, even though the budget is already pretty low, and the fact that it was going to make a lot of money off of that is pretty expected. It's still pretty good that it is making such a good profit off of this. Number 6 is Wonder Park, making $5 million, adding to a domestic total of $37 million, and worldwide it is sitting at $52 million. So, hey, it's outgrossing 5 Feet Apart, at least, sort of. I mean, doesn't really matter because it needs a lot more money to actually double its budget, and 5 Feet Apart has already done that. It's also tripled and quadrupled its budget. So, yeah, still a big flop for Wonder Park here. Number 7, an animated film that's not a huge flop, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, making $4 million, adding to a domestic total of $153 million. It has just outgrossed the first How to Train Your Dragon movie worldwide. Right now it is sitting at $502 million, which is very good, but it's looking like it won't be able to outgross the other 2 How to Train Your Dragon films domestically, since it is starting to die down at the box office. But hey, it's already made a ton of money. It's already doubled its budget. I don't think it's that big of a deal, in all honesty. The fact that it just outgrossed the first movie worldwide, I think, is a pretty good accomplishment on its own. Number 8 is Hotel Mumbai. It's a film that came out in a little limited release. Not too many people have heard of it, making $3 million, and I'm not sure what the budget is, but I'm gonna assume it might be around 10, 15 million, something around that. So this movie definitely needs a lot more. I don't know if this film's gonna stick around that much. I honestly kind of doubt it, which is a little bummer that this movie isn't making a little bit more. Number 9 is A Madea Family Funeral, making $2 million, adding to a domestic total of $70 million. You already know everything about this film being a financial hit. I don't think I need to dwell on it anymore, especially since this is its last time here pretty much, so I'm just going to move on to number 10, which is The Beach Bum. Pretty unfortunate. I know some people were kind of rooting for this film. I didn't expect it to make it into the top 5, but I honestly wasn't really expecting it to get to number 10, only making $1 million. Now the budget is only $5 million, so maybe there might be more expansion of release for this film, so more people can see it, or maybe worldwide, it'll get some more places, but it's looking like it's not going to be able to double that budget, which is pretty unfortunate since it's already so low. Now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. Number 1, I'm going with Shazam. Number 2, Pet Sematary. Number 3, Dumbo. Number 4, Us. And number 5, The Best of Enemies. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave them in the comments below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.